What's good, YouTube? This is Boxingwave. Please subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you for everyone that was here for the live commentary the other day, and shout out to all the new supporters to the channel. This was by far the most disappointing fight on the entire card. Dave Morrell defeats Hot Rod Kalajic in 12 rounds, winning the WBA regular title up at 175. This fight had so much potential to be a great fight. And I thought that a lot of people were overlooking Kalajic. I didn't think he would win the fight, but I did think he was a lot more dangerous than what people were giving him credit for. I've seen him fight a good amount of times now. I've been watching, paying attention to his career since the Marcus Brown fight years back. And Dave Morrell, for whatever reason, and I know he's moving up. He moved up to 175, but for whatever reason, he just didn't seem. He seemed out of it after the fourth round, And this is a 12-round fight, but I want to say somewhere in the fourth round, he just looked out of it, And I mean, like, the counters. Just the timing of his counters was off. The snap on his punches was off. There were periods where it was long periods where he just wasn't letting his hands go. To be such a dangerous opponent, a guy that always came out blazing hand speed, power. We didn't see any of that in this fight, and the reason why, to me, this fight was so disappointing is because Hot Rod fought too safe. So I've seen him, again, we seen him in there with Better BF, and we know he got stopped by Arthur. But, I mean, he brought the fight to Better BF. Like, he traded with him. And I've seen him be more aggressive in other fights, like the Marcus Brown fight, Even the Sullivan Barrera fight was recently, and I know Barrera's older, but the way he was setting up his counters, I just didn't see any of that. And being that Morrell was not at his best, I thought that Hot Rod would take over. And there were certain rounds in the middle rounds, maybe around 6th, 7th, 8th rounds, where I thought Hot Rod was, starting to pick it up a little bit. But it was like a sparring session. Too much touching gloves, too much patting each other on the back, too friendly of a fight. It was a sparring match. And both disappointed, in my opinion. Because even though Hot Rod was a super underdog, I think he fought the worst Morrell that we've seen. And he didn't even take advantage of it. And if you guys saw the breakdown, even though I picked David to win, I thought this was a dangerous fight for him. I thought this was a good matchup because he's fighting a guy that's going to fight hard. And we didn't see that from either. Too much sportsmanship, too much respect. Like I said, it was a sparring match. I don't even know what to think right now because I know when what's his name? Oh man, I'm having a brain fart right now. Benavidez. Sorry about that. David Benavidez recently moved up to 175 as well. Okay. And he fought an older Alexander Volstik. He didn't look great in the fight. Benavidez clearly gassed pretty early in this fight. We never seen him gas like that before. But I still think that Benavidez did better against a better fighter in Volstik. And I know he caught a lot of hate and stuff and criticism, which is fair. But this was even below that. Because Morrell looked beatable to me. And he looked beatable by a lot of fighters at 175. I don't know what it is, because to be honest, in those first 4 rounds, I don't even think Morrell did a whole lot. You know, I thought he was winning. I like the counters. You know, I think he was outboxing Hot Rod, and I thought he was showing us, displaying us the good defense. But Hot Rod didn't throw. He went a few rounds without really throwing any right hands. You know, so Morrell was looking good, but Hot Rod really wasn't throwing any power shots. So I don't know what to really think, but all I know is that win is going to place him right in the top of the WBA. Because if you look at the rankings in the WBA right now, we got Yard, who was number 3. Kalajic was number 4. So being that Morrell beat him, that's going to place him at least in the top 4 or 3 at the division. Above him, he has Yard and he has Albert Ramirez. And then we have Bivol as the champion. I would love to see either one of those fights, especially against Anthony Yard. I brought him up the other day. I don't know how that fight happens, but I'm not sure about Morrell after looking at. I mean, that was a poor performance. You know, he got the W, but the Hot Rod that beat or lost to or got stopped by Beterbiev in 5 rounds was a better Hot Rod than what we saw the other night, and would give Morrell all kinds of problems. So with that being said, I don't know if it's just a tough night, but it was a very poor performance to me. And I don't know what's next, but I would not want to. I would still love to see the Beterbiev fight. I mean, keep saying Beterbiev. Benavidez. David Benavidez. I would still love that, because we know he really wanted that fight, and we know that he moved up to 175 to chase Benavidez. So I would still love to see that fight. But again, this is why I said let's wait. Let's see what he can do at a higher level, because at 168, Morrell looked great, but I wasn't sold on him yet. I wanted to see what he can do against some of the other better fighters at 168 first. And now we are where we are right now, all right? Listen, I'm not completely writing him off, but I think there's still a lot I want to see with him. But I want him to fight a top fighter at this point, because he's already ranked that high, and he's a regular WBA champ, 2 division regular WBA champ. All right. So anyway, poor fight, but it is what it is. It was definitely a snoozer. But you know, hopefully we can see David Morrell pick it up in the next fight. All right. I'm out of here. Peace.